What up? Hey, that sounds trippy. What up, what up, what up? Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, once again. How's everybody doing, man? I hope everybody's doing good. Welcome to I'm gonna have to get some sponsorships from WD-40, man. I know I gotta get that shit together. Welcome to another episode of Live from the Lab with yours truly, qunique. We do these every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East, and wherever you're at on the time slot in between and all around. I appreciate you being here. This is a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Let me see who's in the lab today. We got Mir Depp, of course, Alyssa, what up? Detroit Throwers, Bananas, the Machiavelli, Crazy Legs. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, son. Got a lot of beautiful people in the room today. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I think we got everybody, but that's the deal. That's the deal. Here we are, man. Another new episode, and I'm excited about today's book report. We'll get into that in a little bit. You probably saw it in the title and all of that. But aside from that, let's get into some announcements for the week, and I'll repeat these at the end of the show as well for all the latecomers, of course. Let me load this one up right here. Let me get this ready. Boom. Yes. So this Friday, Thursday at midnight, Friday, we have a brand new qunique single dropping. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new qunique song is dropping this Friday, Thursday, midnight, Friday. You know the deal. It's called Put It in the Air. It's a song about manifestation. I just wanted to hit y'all with some positivity before the end of the year. This will be the last qunique release for 2025. And I felt like we ended up off with something really beautiful. Surprisingly, this particular song is produced by Zach Baird, who produced my recent singles, which are It's Not Over, Let's Go Vámonos Andiamo, and Remember Me. Funny, I couldn't remember Me. But what makes this particular song special is that my son co-produced this track with Zach Baird. And so it's a pretty exciting release for myself. It's pretty surreal. This is the second time that my son will be getting credit on a qunique song. He had produced a track for me many years ago on the Between Heaven and Hell album when my son was a little pipsqueak. He produced, what's the name of this song? The Dark Night, which features myself, Ill Bill, and Jice. And so, you know, here we are back again. He's a grown man. He's in his own zone, and he blessed his dad with a beautiful track along with the great Zach Baird. So that's what we're doing this Friday. There should be a link in the description. If not, go to the link on my description on YouTube. There should be a link tree there, and the pre-save links for the song are in there for whatever streaming platforms you are on. And I thank you greatly in advance. Very excited about this release. So thank you in advance for listening and for checking it out. Also, my homie, I'm talking to y'all with the cover on, sorry. Also, another release that I will be a part of, which comes out, I believe, tonight at midnight, is, hold on, let me get this other picture ready first yep. Another release that's coming out tonight, I believe tonight at midnight tomorrow, is my good friend Sonny Sandoval, Sonny Dread. He is the lead singer from POD, and he's releasing a brand new solo album. And as fate would have it, I produced 2 tracks on that album, and I appear on both tracks that I produced with Sonny, trading some really cool bars. One of them already came out. It's called Talk to God, and the other one will be coming out with the album. So again, when I'll be posting links to that in my stories and all over the place. So when you get a chance, please check out his album and in particular the songs that I'm a part of. I love this show was filmed in front of a live studio audience. Yo, do they still have Music Choice? I don't have cable. I don't think, does anybody even use cable or is it just all apps? Anyway, so let me see what else is going on. No, everything looks good, Stutters. Everything looks good. I'm looking at the screen. Where am I? How come I can't see the, anyway. All right, so I'm just making sure I got all the announcements prepared. No, I need that. I need that. I'm gonna be using that, but it's all good. I'll put it back up. Just making sure I got all the another announcement is, and I announced it last week, but I'm gonna probably be repeating this all the way into when it goes down, is that the album between myself and DJ Repmatic is being sent to get mixed piece by piece. All the features are in. We're very excited about this album. I'm particularly very excited about this album to be able to work with DJ Repmatic. For those that know, from the Beat Junkies, from the Visionaries, he's turntablist legend, and you know they got the Beat Junkies Academy, and just to be able. And what's funny is that I've known Rhett since the '90s, and for us to be able to get together and do this album now is just it's pretty surreal, and I'm excited, and I will keep you guys in the loop as time goes on. And I'm also working on a second album for next year. I got a phone call with somebody special, and I'll be telling y'all all about it once I get past the phone call and let y'all know what's going to be happening. But I'm definitely going to be releasing quite a few things next year, starting with the qunique Repmatic album. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Okay. So, we're going to get into the book report. And towards the end of the show, I got a little special surprise because I did announce the new single, but we'll get into that later. Today's subject, we're going to be talking about boom 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 boom. Back in the days when I was a teen, we're going to be talking about a tribe called Quest. Now, let's start off with my first paragraph. Are you ready, guys? Here we go. Sometimes a group comes along and they change the way something is done. When I first heard about a tribe called Quest, I knew there was a difference, but I just didn't understand at the time what it was that I was watching or listening to. I just knew that I loved it. And my goodness, man, you know, Tribe, what's interesting is that Tribe, De La, and the Jungle Brothers were like the perfect segue into the 90s. And it's pretty fascinating because during the crack era, this is how I remember it. I remembered hearing the Jungle Brothers first, and then De La, and then on the Jungle Brothers, I heard Q-Tip's voice for the first time on the promo joint in Black is Black. And then they ended up dropping their first album. So it was like coming to like the close of a certain era, and these groups would come in and change so much about the dress code, the approach to making hip hop. Everything about them was just fascinating because the way I remember it is that during that time, everybody was pretty much sampling the shit out of James Brown and bands that might be equal to the sound of that. And then what ends up happening is like groups like De La, specifically De La and A Tribe Called Quest, and later on the Jungle Brothers will come around. Because on the first Jungle Brothers album, you could tell that they're using a lot of the ultimate breaks and beats, a lot of James Brown, a lot of, a lot of that stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's all classic gold stuff. But what made Tribe and De La very special at that time is that when they came out, they were sampling things that I don't think anyone was even considering, obviously. And with Tip in particular, the way he used jazz, he had this way of yin and yanging the fucking production. And what I mean by that is like some of those jazz samples and loops are, they're very easygoing and chill. And then he would add this kick and this snare that would just punch you. Like I just meant, like I started off the show by humming Excursions, which is the bass line, boom, 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 and then those drums come in and it's like boom bap to the face. And pretty much everybody here knows what I'm talking about. When you listen to that album, Low End Theory, which is my favorite Tribe album, like the samples are beautiful, and then those drums hit like gritty and almost like a Wu-Tang like drum pattern. You know what I mean? So it's like pretty phenomenal the way he did that careful balance of rough and easy. And my tip my hat to Q-Tip for even thinking so far out. Obviously, De La Soul 2 and the Jungle Brothers. But on this particular episode, we're going to be talking about A Tribe Called Quest. So that's the deal. Yeah. Second paragraph. Straight out of Linden Boulevard, Queens. This group is responsible for not only being a difference, but doing it in a way where the impact and the ripple effect had caused everyone at the time to think differently and not to be afraid to be that difference. These rock and roll Hall of Famers have released some of the best hip hop music ever. And I personally agree with Bob Power that their album, The Low End Theory, is their Sgt. Pepper's. And it's come to that. Like, a lot of people, I'm not going to say every musician, but a lot of musicians, including myself, you always use Sgt. Pepper, the Beatles album, as like this measurement of which album in your catalog is that album. And for me, with A Tribe Called Quest, it's Low End Theory. I've always had this love for Low End Theory, and I think it's just a perfect album. Last week or the week before, we were talking about perfect albums, and I think I mentioned them, but the Low End Theory to me is a flawless album. There isn't a skippable track on it. Everything about it, the vibe, the sonics, it's just a beautiful hip hop album. I got a funny story about it because, and I've told this before, in my band, Mother Fuzz, the bass player, he's a real metal head, like metal. So he doesn't know hip hop really that well. He knows, but he doesn't know. And one of my proudest moments of being in a band with this guy was that I introduced him to A Tribe Called Quest. He never heard it. And I sent him the Low End Theory. And his response was just, he was like, he texts me back after the end of the day, because we play this game where he sends me an album and I send him an album. And he texts me back and he was like, I don't know much about hip hop. I know it, but I don't know it like that. But I will say this album, Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory, I could see me playing this again and again and again. And it was like, boom, like that was such a cool thing to be able to share and get somebody's response like that, you know what I mean? So, also, ladies and gentlemen, please, a little pause. Don't forget we have the super chats and the super stickers. I appreciate the donations and your support greatly, so thank you in advance, okay? Thank you. Okay, let's keep it going on. From the very beginning, using jazz as their foundation, taking part in forming the native tongues, bringing Jay Dilla into the spotlight, they have accomplished so much in such a short period of time, it's mind-boggling. Although they are missed, they ended their story with being one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time. And I think we could agree with that. It's like, I know sometimes when people measure these things, they could be a little nitpicky, or maybe their perspectives are coming from a certain point of view. For instance, maybe they might have not been as super lyrical as a Big L or a Pharoah Monch, or maybe they didn't get down like NWA or some heavy street shit. But I believe that what they represented was a different universe all to its own. And I think and I believe that that's important for hip hop to have all of these different avenues at one point made it beautiful for us to be able to navigate through this culture. I'm not sure if I see it the same these days. I'm not hating on these days, but what we're looking at these days is just a little different from what I'm describing. Slightly different. What's up, Boston Ray? What's going on? Yes, Detroit, exactly. I think Five Dog is still alive. I obviously rest in peace, Five Dog, rest in peace, Jay Dilla. But just like you said, they're still alive based on their music and especially what their music means to us as individuals. Like for me, A Tribe Called Quest is just extremely important, man. Very important to me. So that's the deal with that. Okay. Let me just make sure I close that one out. I ended that paragraph by saying how they are one of the best hip hop groups of all time, but I think I have to take it further and just say they're just one of the best groups in music history. Sometimes you just want to when certain people accomplish certain things, you kind of want to take off the genre for a second and realize how certain groups just change the narrative. You know, Melly, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, they dominated their era. Then Run DMC and how they changed and dominated their era. And then came Kane, KRS, Rakim, Cool G Rap, Bismarck, dominated their era. And then we get into the native tongues, right? And they held down their era, and it's quite an amazing thing. And to be able to change something without almost effortlessly, like the way they changed everything, it was almost like they came out, they gave us this music that was amazing, and because the music was so good, we followed. We followed with our dress codes. We followed with the way we handled ourselves. We followed with our vibes. We followed with so much because groups like A Tribe Called Quest did it in such a way that you just couldn't get enough of it. It was just beautiful to watch. And right, like I said, we're just focused on Tribe, but I always feel like when you say them, you have to say De La, you have to say Jungle Brothers, Chi Ali, Moni Love, the Beat Nuts, Brand Nubian, Leaders of the New School, Queen Latifah, all of these people that were a part of this extended family. That movement in the beginning of the 90s, it's just a beautiful time, man. And Tribe is just a very important group. That's the point that I'm getting at. You know what I mean? So that's what's up. Word. Thank you, Crazy Legs. Crazy Legs in the house, baby. Thank you for that super chat, Crazy Legs. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, big brother. Thank you. Thank you, Machiavelli. Thank you. And I'm probably going to repeat that story. I have it in my report for those that never heard it. And, it is what it is. What up, Eric? Ladies and gentlemen, that's Eric Lanhart. That's the bass player from Mother Fuzz, the guy I just talked about with A Tribe Called Quest. What timing, Eric? What timing? Ladies and gentlemen, give that boy some love. He's new to the hip hop community, and he's a brand new Tribe Called Quest listener, so we got to give him some love, man. Crazy like stupid. Oh, definitely Machiavelli. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let me get to the next paragraph, Machiavelli, and we're gonna get to that story. Thank you, thank you. I did summon him. Thank you, Detroit. All right, next paragraph. I was just a rookie when they were at their prime of their career. But as fate would have it, I'd be a fly on the wall on certain occasions that still trip me out whenever I think about it. The first occasion that I like to mention is when Skef Enselm was producing demos for my group, the Nomads. That itself was already an amazing experience. Not only where we were recording music, but also learning and gaining wisdom from the great Skef Enselm. And so I got to do this because y'all gonna see something really crazy here. And here is a picture of me and the great Skef Enselm. That's where we used to record our demos as the Nomads. For those that know, Skef Enselm, super producer, super engineer during that time. He's worked with the Brand Nubians. He's worked with De La Soul. He's worked with MC Search. He's worked with Jazzy J, man, the list goes on. And of course, one of the other highlights of his career is that he worked with a Tribe Called Quest, and they were the first to give him his props on We Got the Jazz when they said, and oh shit, Skef Enselm, he gets props too. So Skef was like a big brother to me and my rhyme partner, MC Beretta, may he rest in peace. And it was because of Skef that I was able to go and experience some of the things with a Tribe Called Quest. So this is the deal. Now, I've told this story a few times, but I'm going to tell it again anyway. One day, I'm chilling at home, and I get a call on a Skef. And, you know, we're talking about demos and where we're at and all of that. And there was one demo in particular that we were looking to get a hook, maybe a feature. And Skef goes, yo, Tribe, they're going to be at Battery. They're working on their new album. Why don't you and Beretta go down there, play the demo for Tip, and see if he'll do it there, or at least you could leave him with the demo. Maybe he'll do it later, whatever have you. But, you know, I already told him, you know, I asked him, and it's cool for y'all to go roll up. Dude. And it's funny, Machiavelli, and I know you, Machiavelli, you know this already, but every time I tell this story, I trip out because there are these moments in your journey. All of us have these moments, not just me. All of us have these moments when things just go surreal and it feels like an out-of-body experience. It feels like a dream, and you don't want the moment to end because it's that fucking crazy. And this is it. And I'm getting emotional. I'm getting it, so bear with me, because remember, when this happened, I was with my Nomads brother, Beretta, who had since passed away. And so this was a memory that he and I shared as kids. And, you know, he's not here. And, you know, you get me, man. You feel it. Anyway, so we go to Battery Studios, which was about, I think 55th Street or something like that. I don't remember. It was near the Dave Letterman, where Dave Letterman used to do his show in New York. And Conan O'Brien, I believe, took over that theater as well. Anyway, so we get there. We get to the front of the studio. And right in the front of the studio is all three members of the Fushnikins. And me and Beretta are like, you know, we're composed, but it's already kicking into high gear. We're like looking at it, you know, we knew each other well enough to look at each other like, holy shit, you know, because at that time, you got to understand, the Fushnikins was doing their thing. There was, you know, their videos was out. They were fucking killing it. They were killing it, man. And so, you know, we're walking by, we give him a little nod, like, what's up? You know, all respect and all of that. We get in, up in the elevator, go up, get in the studio. First person we see, Bob Powers. Bob Powers is a legendary engineer, producer, whatever you have it. I don't know where, I would have to look it up. I'm not sure where he started, what genre he started in, but obviously Tribe worked with him a lot. The Roots, I believe, worked with him. I think De La might have, like a lot of hip hop heads, like a lot of classic hip hop had been worked on with Bob Power. So it's like, geez, there he is, you know, and it was just very surreal because you hear his name and you see images, but now I'm in the room, we're in the room with the guy. And then you turn to the right, and there's Tip, Ali, and Fife, and Pasta Noose, Trugoy, and Busta Rhymes, all there hanging out, and me and Beretta walk in to this. So we're like, we saw the Fushniggins and we're trying to chill. We saw them, and it's like, sure, on the surface, we're trying to act like we're part of, hey, what's up, fellas? What's up? Respect. In our minds, inside, we're screaming like it's the, you know, you ever see those old clips of the Beatles and everybody's like, ah! That's what was going on in our minds. We couldn't believe what we were seeing. We couldn't believe that an innocent gesture like, hey, go up to the studio, turn into one of the most illest experiences I've ever witnessed in my entire career. One of the most craziest things I've ever walked into in my entire life. It was insane. And to top it off, everybody was fucking cool. That's what makes the memory that much more special. Because if somebody was out of pocket, if somebody was going to be rude or just not cool, it would have pissed on the whole thing. Instead, everybody was cool. Everybody was talking with us, being cool. Busta, everybody was just amazing. And on top of that, they're working on, I guess they're wrapping up the album and they were working on Lyrics to Go right in front of us. The song Lyrics to Go on the Midnight Marauders album. And so obviously to me and Beretta, look, I'm getting emotional, man. Hold up. To me and Beretta, that shit was just amazing, man. You know what I mean? Everybody gets these chances to see something that they just don't anticipate. Hold on to those memories, man. It's just, you know, you can't rewind it. I don't think I'll ever see it. Obviously, you won't see anything like that specifically ever again. And so I cherish it. It was just a brilliant act of God, the universe, a gesture, whatever you want to call it. It was just insane. And I remember everybody being so beautiful. And I remember Tip getting in the booth, lyrics to go. And it was just like, and we didn't even, and the thing is, remember, they were finishing the album, so we didn't even know what we were witnessing. And when the album came out and did what it did, and we're listening to Lyrics to Go, it's like, we were there. We were there to see that behind the scenes, man. So it's just amazing, you know what I mean? And that album is amazing. And just to be a fly on the wall to see that was just insane. And it's crazy because it was at a time when there were no camera phones or anything like that. And it wasn't like I was going to roll up one of them disposable cameras and start clicking everything. It's like, you have to have, you know, you got to respect the space. If they're in the studio, it's a personal place. And we're being invited as guests. It's not like we hung out with this circle of people before. We're brand new. You know what I mean? I'm not aggressive like that. That ain't my style. So it's like, it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, man, just amazing. Now, one more story. So a few months after that, Q-Tip, now through that, Q-Tip gets my number and we would talk on the phone from time to time. And what was beautiful about it was the conversations would always be like, it was almost like a big brother, little brother thing, because he would always be like, where you at with your career? What are you doing? How you writing? You making your demos? And then he would give me like tips, pointers, you know, hey, do it like this. Hey, take this approach. And the biggest one, the deepest one was, listen, I know we all doing this thing and we're all part of this community. The minute it's not fun for you, that's the minute that you have to make a change, whether you're going to leave it or you got to shake it up or something. The minute there's no fun in it, you have to shift and change. And that stood with me. That stood with me. And what it turned into was, whenever I wasn't happy or having fun with what I was looking at, I would detect what it was about it that I wasn't having fun with. Normally and usually, it would probably be the industry itself. It was never really the music, it was more like industry shit. And so, uh, you know, his advice to me was invaluable, and just being a fly on the wall for all of these things has just been insane. Now, the other story that I have about Tribe is that a few months later, and like I said, me and Tip were talking every now and then. He invited me and MC Beretta to rap on stage with A Tribe Called Quest at a Zulu jam at the Bronx River Projects, the Bronx River Center, Community Center. Again, I couldn't even tell you the adrenaline level where it was. The whole thing doesn't make sense to me that it even happened. Um, we got up, we did our thing like pros. And I've said this before, and I repeat it, the only sad punchline to that story of getting on stage and, Tip passed me the mic and I'm rhyming after Tip and I passing him and then he passes the Fife, and is that the person that filmed it passed away shortly after. And so there's zero chance of me ever seeing that footage, which is like, "Ugh," but it is what it is. Something that Crazy Legs had told me, it was like recently when KRS brought me on stage. I forgot, me and Crazy Legs were having this back and forth talk, and he said, I was talking about trying to see if I could get KRS's attention, and Legs was like, ultimately, just chalk it up to a dope moment in your career and just let it go and keep moving forward. And so that's what I had to do with a lot of these stories, because a lot of these stories are just kept in my memory because, like I said, for a long time, there were no camera phones or any way to film anything unless you brought along a disposable camera, which is something I wouldn't do anyway. So, it's an incredible experience, and I'm forever thankful for Tip for being that generous at that time. I haven't spoken to Tip in quite some time, and it was a chapter in my career that I look fondly upon. To be able to, like I said, to be able to be a fly on the wall, to see these things was just pure insanity, man. So, man, much love to A Tribe Called Quest, ladies and gentlemen. Much love. I got here. Got this. I still got in the shrink wrap. That's the Midnight Marauders album, right there. Crazy Legs is on the cover right there in the corner. Can you see him? Dope cover, man. Genius cover, right? Good album. I think my favorite songs on here is where is it? Award Tour is my shit. Midnight. Clap Your Hands. Oh my God. Keep It Rolling. I mean, this is also pretty much a flawless album. I don't, Tribe's first three albums to me are just perfect, if you could agree. So this I got that. Then here we go. The first joint, People's Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm. Great album. Bonita Applebaum, Can I Kick It? My goodness. My shit is Footprints on here. This is such a good album. I wonder if there's any images. No. No special paperwork, but great album, great introduction to the group Tribe Called Quest, and I'm sure a lot of y'all love these albums. Got a Can I Kick It 12-inch single that stutters through in the pile, thinking that I didn't know. This is when Tribe was really dressing different, but this song, everybody knows this fucking song, so great song. And of course, what I consider the greatest Tribe album, in my opinion, this right here, The Low End Theory. Perfect album. So many, like, just high points. It opens up with one of the best opening songs of all time, Excursions. Scenario, Busta Rhymes gave us one of the most incredible verses of all time on a posse cut. Jazz is my favorite song on this album, but this album is one of the best hip hop or rap or whatever you want to call it, one of the best rap albums ever made of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, A Tribe Called Quest with the sickest catalog in the world. Yes, 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 yes. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. That's my book report on Tribe Called Quest. I'm not going anywhere. I just want to take that and put that there. I was watching, to do a little research, I was watching the documentary that Michael Rappaport had produced for them, and it's a good documentary, but after watching recent documentaries like the Led Zeppelin documentary, Becoming Led Zeppelin, and I'm watching the Beatles anthology series, and you guys know I watch a lot of documentaries. The Beastie Boys one is definitely one of my tops. I feel like Tribe deserves another shot at doing a documentary, but more into exploring the catalog and how things came about. Because when I watched the Led Zeppelin one in particular, when you watch Becoming Led Zeppelin, which is on Netflix, uh, they don't go into the darkness and the drama. They don't go into the sex, drugs, and the shit that everybody wants to like gossip and, ooh, what did they do? They don't go into none of that. They go beautifully into how they became Led Zeppelin and how things got done, the mechanics, the story. I mean, me as a musician, that's what I want to see. And so that's what I think would be great if I don't know if Tribe is even, I don't know if Tip is even thinking, or Ali, I don't know, or Jerobi. I don't know if they're thinking about a second shot at another documentary, but if they are, I think their best approach would be to do something that's a little more steered away from the drama and more specifically on the beauty of what they created from its humble beginnings to, wherever they want to end it. Because even with the Led Zeppelin documentary, they don't do all the albums. I think they only cover the first 2 or 3. And so that's all you needed just to get the idea of how did this group come about and to tell a really beautiful story. So that's my 2 cents on the subject. I don't know if you guys agree, but that's how I see it. Anyway, you know what I got? I got another pack of Yo MTV rap cards. This is the last pack of my stash, unfortunately. I might have to see if I can find some more. But we're gonna do a reveal. Let's see what's in this pack. Hopefully it's not a lot of triples and doubles this time. We will see. Okay, you ready? Here we go. First card, EPMD. Really cool. Eric and Parrish making dollars straight out of Long Island. Another group that I could definitely speak on. Might have to do a little book report on them because as you could see, the Arsonist opened up for them. I danced in the Def Squad's video. I talked about that last week. Eric and Parrish making dollars, man. One of the best duos in hip hop of all time. LL Cool J, the GOATs, the greatest, the golden child. Also from Farmers Boulevard next to Q-Tip. Q-Tip actually produced his latest album. I don't know if a lot of you are giving it a chance. It's a pretty solid album, man. I dig it. The album came out dope, and Q-Tip hit him with some really good production. So if you haven't listened to it, it's a dope album, man. Shout out to LL Cool J. What's up, Andrea? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next up, Public Enemy. Yeah. Chuck D and Flavor Flav. I spoke about Public Enemy. I told the story about going on tour with them. You got to catch it in one of my earlier episodes. But as I usually say, but these guys are one of the most important groups in music itself. No genre necessary. This Public Enemy, man, we could all agree, man. Outstanding group. Next, Eric B. and Rakim. I was a fiend. Rakim, you know, I need to do, I don't think I spoke about Rakim, but I've had, you know, I've danced in his video I mentioned. I've been in his presence. I say with him, I've been in his presence because he is a god to so many of us, and so I've been in his presence, and man, it's like you never know what to say or do when you're around Rakim, man. But Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim, yes, y'all. Here we go. Vanilla Ice. How you like that face, y'all? How you like that? How you like that? Yeah, doing some sort of dance move on which is no doubt some sort of arena tour. Him and MC Hammer. The great Vanilla Ice, for those that are fans, there you go, Vanilla Ice. The Kings from Queens, Run DMC, also from Queens, also living close to Q-Tip and them and LL and all that. That area, like Farmers Boulevard, Linden Boulevard, Hollis. It's also a dope like ground for some of the best hip-hop groups of all time. Run DMC, there you go. I keep on getting the same. Belle Biv DeVoe, that girl is poison. Man, yo, I think I got a lot of these cards a few times, man. Tone Loc with his funky Cole Medina. LA. There we go, Mr. Tone Loc. I never met Tone Loc, man. Kumo D. You know what's crazy is I always feel like Kumo D doesn't get enough flowers. I feel like Kumo D is part of the chemistry that makes Rakim because of the vocabulary, the tone, all of that stuff. And so Kumo D, man, he doesn't get enough flowers. One of the pioneers of MCing, man, for reals, man. Oh, peace to Gorilla Strong, man. Shout out to my boy Gorilla Strong. Hopefully everything's okay with him. So thank you, Machiavelli. I appreciate that. Thank you. Last card, Fab Five Freddy, of course, another hip-hop icon right there. Give it up for the great Fab Five Freddy, of course, yes. And we have a contest scratch-off. Let me get my little, got an old little throwback Stillwell pick. Let's see if I won something. Sorry, try again. Nope. Yes, Machiavelli. That battle, Kumo D versus LL Cool J. LL Cool J at that time was going at everybody. He didn't give a shit. Who else was he? He battled Ice-T, Kumo D. Like, LL was on some shit, man. For reals. Has anyone heard the latest LL album? I thought it was a good album, man. It was a solid album, for real, man. Q-Tip definitely gave him some really good production on that, man. Yes, Death Blow was crazy, man. Let me see, where are we at? Okay, cool. Let me see. Oh, now let's get back to what I said earlier. I said that I was going to do this, and so let me just ready this again. Um, Couple of announcements. Like I said, the first announcement again. Nah, not yet, Machiavelli. We almost there. We almost there. And I got a little. Hopefully, I could do this right. So, a couple of announcements. The first announcement that I want to announce is that tonight, I think around midnight tomorrow, my homie Sonny Sandoval, Sonny Dread, the lead singer of the band POD, is releasing his solo album. And as fate would have it, The Blessings. I produced 2 tracks on this album, and I'm also spitting on this album. One of the songs has already been released. It's called Talk to God. And Machiavelli. And if you get a chance, check out the album. It's really cool. It's a nice little twist of like hip hop and reggae, and he's definitely visiting different areas of music. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy for Sonny. This is something that he's been working on for quite some time. So if you get a chance, please check out the new Sonny Dread album, which should be dropping tonight, if not tomorrow. It's a really cool album, man. And I'm very appreciative to be a part of it, man. So props to my man Sonny Dread. As far as rock is concerned, for those that want to know, my Gorilla Strong, son, Gorilla Strong. There we go, son. Thank you. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully, you can watch this really cool episode on when you have free time. We talked about A Tribe Called Quest today. And so, thank you, Gorilla. I appreciate you being here, and I thank you for your donations. Thank you all. Thank you. Where was I? Oh, for Mother Fuzz, our next single will be coming out next year in January. I'll be posting more information as we get closer to the release date. And then from there, every month we will be releasing a new song. So stay tuned for that. There'll be a lot of music next year, God willing. But the plan is to get a lot of music out for next year, whether it's qunique, Mother Fuzz, or any other project. So please stay tuned for that. And then finally, again, I want to announce that the new qunique single, Put It in the Air, is dropping Thursday at midnight, basically Friday. The links are on my link tree, on my description page, on my bio, wherever you want to catch it. You could pre-save it right now, and it will obviously be out on Friday. The name of the song is Put It in the Air. As I mentioned earlier, it is produced by Zach Baird, who produced my recent 3 singles, It's Not Over, Let's Go Vamonos Andiamo, and Remember Me. But what makes this single special is that my son co-produced this track with Zach Baird. And so for me, that is something, surreal. Talking about surreal, it's pretty surreal that I know that like this is happening. And so props to Zach, props to my son, and just stay tuned. The link is everywhere. You see the deal there. Let me see what else. Machiavelli, yes. And lastly, thank you, Machiavelli, for that assist. Again, next year, the qunique Rhetmatic album will be dropping. That's a totally different from the singles that are dropping. All new music, very, very exciting. We've been handing in tracks to get mixed one by one. Red has been going over all the cuts and scratches. We got all of our features. I don't want to say too much, but let's just say I'm extremely happy with this album. Rhett knows it. I'm very excited. And so get ready for that. We will have a brand new qunique DJ Rhetmatic album for 2026. Yes. Very exciting. Okay, so let me get that off of there, right there. Okay, what's up, Ja? What's the deal? What's up, Alyssa? Thank you, Alyssa. All right, yo, Stutters, I'm gonna need you to come in because you know I need you with the assist on this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna do a little something special today. So bear with me. Bear with me. Since the new single is coming out, I thought it'd be good to perform the new single live today for you guys to hear it for the first time ever. I'm excited to do this. I went over the song a few times, but let's have fun with it. Let me get this. Yo, Stutters, what track is it? Number 4? Okay, so that's ready. All right, we're gonna start it off. I'm gonna turn that off. One, two. Yes, y'all. qunique, live from the lab. This is a world premiere. The world premiere. New qunique. New single, Put It in the Air, produced by Zach Baird, co-produced by my son. Yo, thank y'all so very much for hanging out. That made me excited, man. I might have stumbled a little bit on the lyrics, but it's all good. You get to hear the whole song. There's a third verse. I don't usually do 3, but there's a third verse on this joint. So make sure y'all check it out on Friday, streaming and all of that. Thank y'all for hanging. Thank y'all for the super chats and super stickers. Much love to y'all. I'll see y'all on Friday Night Vibes, y'all. We're gonna go over this song again. Peace, qunique, I'm out.